Welcome back, you guys. My name is Legit Lee, and today, I'm sorry, but I was gonna make part 7 to be about my 3D printer basically having the Z-axis and the frame made. So that's gonna have to be on part 8. I'm sorry that it's taking so long. I've just been really busy trying to get everything set up. And it's taken a while because most of the parts that I'm 3D printing take about 4 to 5 hours. And even that, the parts I have to make sure that the holes work. And sometimes I may even have to go back and redesign my part that I made in Blender. So for this part 7 that I'm on right now, I'm gonna show you what I've been working on today, just in case you guys are trying to do the same thing that I'm trying to do, and if you're trying to save some money. So this should help you out. So if I go down to my internet, Firefox, you can see these right here are called eccentric spacers. They're what the 3D printers pretty much use to help the V-wheels to make them kind of tight, and they work up against the 20x40 aluminum excursions. So they're on the Ender 3, the CR10, pretty much most of the Creality 3D printers. So you can see here that I could buy the spacer. That nut right there is the eccentric spacer, and then the one below it is basically just a regular spacer. So these regular spacers, I have one of these, and I even have one eccentric nut, so I may not have to buy me any. And you can see that it's going to cost me $11 just to get a pack of them. So this is Amazon that I'm on, so you guys can see the picture. And you can see that it comes with all these together, which is great, but I don't really need to worry about having them anymore. So they're gonna be $11 if you wanted to buy it so far that I could see. But and this is here in the US. But if you're wanting to save some money, if you're really trying to work on a budget, if you go to Thingiverse, I found somebody already designed the eccentric spacer. And this is for the Creality Ender 2, but it'll work for, most likely, I don't know exactly yet, but it should work for any of the 3D printers that you're trying to use or make if you're using the V-wheels. So these eccentric spacers help tighten up the V-wheel against your aluminum excursion to make sure that it's not slippery or slipping or falling or anything like that when you're trying to lift the X-axis or the X carriage for your hot end. But as you can see, somebody already designed it, so I'm just gonna probably download this and put it into Blender for me, and I'll probably 3D print me a few of these so that way I have some. But in Blender, I designed, because I have one of the regular spacers, not the eccentric one. I designed right here, as you can see, if I could just go to one, you can see front view. I made my own regular spacer, and I used my caliper that I have and measured out how fat or how thick this spacer is, and it's actually 3mm. So if I can just show you really quick, let me go down. It's 8mm from left and right. So if I just hit this, you can see 8mm, or 8 meters basically. It's millimeters, but it says M. But if you look closer, you can see that I have the design already set up. This is using this is an add-on, not an add-on, but it's an object. See, I'm in object mode right here. So if you go and hit Shift A, you can add anything really. Shift A, go to mesh, And right here you see I have cylinder. That's what this piece is. It's a cylinder. So I had to add 2 cylinders to my design, and I had to scale. I had to use the measure it add-on to figure out how fat the cylinder was gonna be, and it measured out to be 2 millimeters. So I hit the scale option, hit an S on my keyboard to scale it out to make it 8 millimeters. So the spacer is going to be 8 millimeters, and it is actually 8 millimeters tall too. And if I could show you that, here we go. Hit show that. So the height is 8 millimeters too, because I measured that with my caliper. And the inside diameter is actually 5 millimeters. So if I just click on this. Oh wait, no, I deleted the other one. Hold on. I have to hit Shift, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Do it a few times, and that should bring out the one that I deleted. Maybe it's not doing it because I think I done a lot, so it won't really let me bring it up. But what I did after I made the spacer, all I did was hit 7. Let me just hit 7 so you can see top view, and all I do is hit Shift D to duplicate it and put it on the X-axis. So I hit Shift D, hit X, and then I move it over with my mouse. And then wherever you decide to place it at, all you have to do is just click the left click mouse button, and that'll place it where you want it at. So I have 2 spacers already made now, so I would probably need 3 to 4 depending on what you want to start putting together. So if I go to let me just go to Amazon really quick to show you guys. So if I put CR10 bracket, you should be able to see some of the parts here. These are the aluminum made pieces, and I do have a few of them, so I may not need to 3D print everything. But I have to look for the piece that I have here. So the pieces I have, they're red. They look kind of like this red color, but I'm just trying to find the bracket that I could show you guys that I have. So I have this bracket right here too. See, these all use those eccentric spacer nuts. It's for them to be able to make it nice and tight up against the aluminum excursions. So if I can find the part that I'm missing here to show you. I have this piece too. These work good. These are all aluminum, so they're all metal. And I have this piece too. So I have probably like 2 of these now, because I have a CR10 too that's messed up that I've been talking about lately. So I can still take it from the CR10 that I have to use it if I want to. But I'm not using that because those only work for the 20x20 aluminum excursion. And I do have a few of those, but they're not long enough for what I'm trying to do. So I'm using the 20x40 like this one right here for the X carriage that I showed in that last video. So that won't work for something like this. These are only for the 20x20 ones. And I'm still looking for that bracket. I don't have these exactly, but I have these pieces 3D printed for my CR10. So I can use that too if I want to help level the bed. But I'm sorry it's taking so long. I don't know why I can't see the brackets that I have to show you guys. It's taking a second. So these are all pieces for the CR10, which I pretty much have all these parts, because I do have a CR10. It's just not functioning properly at the moment. And I've been working on trying to fix it, but it just doesn't really want to work. And then on top of that, a few days ago, my Z homing switch, Z end stop, it broke on me. So I need to get a new one of those too for the CR10 if I want to try using it again. But even if that, my wife said for Christmas and basically my birthday, she's gonna be getting me a new CR10. At least that's what she said. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what she was saying. And I do have one of these pieces too, or two of these now, because my CR10 is broken, so I could take it from that one if I want to. This is the Y-axis bed plate to help level the bed and be able to add it to the aluminum excursions for the V-wheels to move front and back. So I have two of these, two of the Y-axis bed plates, and I don't know why I can't find. See, I have two of these. These are the bed plates. I'm sorry it's taking so long, guys. I don't know why I'm having a hard time looking for this piece. Well, I got two pieces. Well, there's like three pieces for the CR10 pieces that I have that are all aluminum and they're red. They look like that type of red. What I'll do, I'll just go to Google. Maybe I could find a picture of it on Google really quick, since it's taking so long for me to find it. CR10 bracket. Okay. So now we'll go to images. Let's see if I can find it on here. So I have two of those like I was mentioning, but what I'm looking for is, let me just type in red to be sure. RED. Okay, there we go. So now I found it. So I have this piece right, or these two pieces right here. And you can probably find these on Thingiverse too. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't looked. But I don't need them because I already have both of these parts. And this helps with the Z-axis. You can see right here, dual Z-axis fixed plate. So this works so that way you can put a T-nut inside of the back part of this piece right here. And that'll help raise the X-axis upward for the Z. So I have these two pieces right now in my hand, and I even have the X-axis plate too. I don't know if they have it in here. I don't see it at the very moment, but see, that's for the Z plate that I have. So this goes up and down on the Z. So these are the parts that I have, and I'm looking for the X. So let me see. Let me just type in X. X-axis. So I think it may be this part here. So I have all these parts. That's the one. That's the X. Wait, this is the X-axis, It's for the X motor, X stepper motor, to be able to move up and down with the Z. See that right there, that hole is where you put the T-nut at. And then you just put some M3 screws in the other like 4 holes that it has. So I have this part and these 2 parts here. And that's probably for that black part that I have for the X carriage. So I have basically all these pieces that I could use, and they're I have double them because I don't have my CR10 currently working, so I could take parts from that 3D printer to help make this 3D printer that I'm building. So all these parts is basically what I already have, and like I was mentioning earlier, if you're trying to save some money, you can always use Blender or download like these eccentric nuts and stuff from Thingiverse for free. And you can see on here I wasn't able to find the parts, but I'm pretty sure if I just copy and paste these parts from Google, I may be able to find them on Amazon, but I'm not worried about doing that right now. But other than that, I'm just trying to get back to eccentric spacer stuff. Just keep cooking back. So I have that. I had 2 of those. And I have that part. So I have a lot of these 3D printer parts that I can use. So that's the CR10. That's the S5. So that's the 500mm on the X and the Y and the Z. So it does basically like darn near to 20 inches, and if you're doing it by American standards, but it's 500mm on metric. So yes, these eccentric spacers, I found those on Thingiverse, as you can see here. So that will save me $11, and then I just designed these spacers right here inside of Blender. So now I could 3D print both of the parts that I would need to pay for $11 for. So now that I have these 2, usually you're gonna need about 3 to 4 of them, because you use about 3 of the V wheels for the Z. Let me just show you really quick. For the Z and the see right here, 1 hole right here, 2 holes, 3 holes. These 3 holes is what are gonna help push the V wheels up against your 20x40 aluminum Excursion for them to ride straight and along that pole. So you're gonna need about 3 of the eccentric spacers and 3 of the regular spacers too, to help add your V wheels to them. So you're gonna need 3 of the eccentric spacers, 3 of the V wheels, 3 of the regular spacers, and the same thing for this part too. You're gonna need actually 6 regular spacers, because these 2 pieces go together, but they need space between the 2. And these are 5mm diameter, or M5 nuts that you can use. If you go to like Lowe's, that's usually where I go to, or I can buy them on Amazon too if I wanted to. But I have a lot of the M5 nuts, and they're really long, so that's good. So that way I can use up the space with these spacers that I'm making. So I have M5 nuts and bolts, and I'm gonna be 3D printing using these spacers that I made. These are the 8mm long M5 spacers, so they'll be able to work for the design that I'm making. I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm sorry if this dragged out too long. I just wanted to explain what I was doing today. because I know people have been watching my videos on the whole me building a 3D printer from basically using 3D printers, like, because I have to 3D print a lot of the parts to make the 3D printer. But if you guys are wanting to get these parts, just comment in the description, in the video below, so that way I can put the files on Thingiverse for you guys to be able to download. And